7 signs that you might be in early labour. Number 1 is backache or pelvic pressure. Some women don't experience contractions in their belly to begin with at all, and instead many experience almost like a dull ache in their lower back or a heavy dragging feeling in their pelvis. It's almost like that feeling when you're expecting your period and you just know something's going on, something feels different, and it's almost like a crampy period-like cramp. Number 2 is what's called a bloody show. Your mucus plug is like a protective seal at your cervix. So when your cervix begins to soften and open, your mucus plug can be released, and often it's like a jelly-like discharge which is often streaked with blood. A show doesn't necessarily mean that labour will start imminently, but it's a really good sign that your body might be moving in that direction. Number 3 is loose bowels or an upset tummy. So your body is super clever, and what it will often do is clear out your bowels ahead of active labour starting so that there is more space for your uterus to contract more efficiently. So if you notice loose stools or perhaps cramping or a sudden urge to go to the loo, this could be a pre-labour sign. Number 4 is your waters breaking. Your waters might break like a dramatic gush like you see in the films, or it could just be like a steady trickle, which is often the case. The fluid should be clear and pale, and if your waters do release, you'll want to let your midwife know so they'll be able to advise you around what the next steps are. Perhaps they might want to observe the colour or the timing. Sometimes your waters will break first, and that's the first sign you get, so that was the case in my case. But often actually your waters will often not break until you're well into active labour and just before birth. Number 5 is a sudden shift in your energy. Perhaps you feel more fatigued, or perhaps you've got a sudden burst in energy. Both are valid signs that your body's responding to hormonal changes, particularly a rise in both oxytocin and adrenaline as your body gears up for labour. And the key here is to really listen to what your body's asking for and to conserve your energy. Number 6 is that your baby feels lower, or perhaps there's some movement changes. You might feel your baby's movements shift lower in your belly, and that is engaging in your pelvis. Oh, just a really quick reminder as well, if you notice any changes in your baby's movements and there's any cause for concern, make sure you let your midwife know. And finally, number 7, which is the most important one, and that's that you start to experience regular contractions. In early labour, contractions often begin like a tightening across your belly, almost like that period-like cramps that we talked about before. But the key difference between Braxton Hicks and contractions is that they become more intense, stronger and longer over time. Every woman's early labour looks different, but if you're noticing some of these signs building over time together, then it's often a really good indication that your baby's on the way. And if you are in early labour, the best thing you can do during this stage is to rest, eat and hydrate, and to really conserve your energy for active labour when you're going to need it the most. If you're not in early labour yet, make sure you hit save on this post and share it with your birth partner as well. And if you are in early labour, good luck, you've got this.